Performance-wise, it all started 4 years ago.
This is who I am, this is what I do.
At first, to be honest, I actually thought it was some sort of nutter.
This is not what I wrote, it's what I stole, because I'm a thieving ginger twat.
I'm basically into punk.
Then he actually got on stage and started doing these poems, and I thought, wow, this guy's pretty good.
Slightly into poetry from people like Simon Armitage. Then I got introduced to people like Attila the Stockbroker, Nick Tocek, who were pretty much punk crossed as punk poets. And I thought, well, this is actually really, really decent stuff.
This is by John Cooper Clarke. It's called Come for International. Oh, it's dark. A fucking great way to get beaten up. Outside the takeaway on a Saturday night, a bold adolescent tossed me out for a fight. It were no bigger than a two-penny fat with a deft exponent of a martial art.
Well, I didn't know you could actually take poetry out of a bedroom, out of a page, into a pub, a club, or whatever. Performance poetry was something which I never really grabbed that concept, and I thought, well, if they can do it, surely I can, surely anyone can.
Thanks for that embryonic okay now. Thanks for that embryonic booty. I'm a shadow of the man that I used to be. I can't go back to Pontefract, cause the place is fucking shite. Bollocks to the dragon, enter Cayn White. Cheers.
So I started writing poems in that style with a viewer one day performing them.
I one day to do some shopping. I don't know what shop I've wandered in. All around me there's blacked out windows. I don't know where I am, but it's not Tesco's. There's videos and books I've not seen before. There's strange looking toys, what the hell are they for?
A lot of people were going, oh, you'll never do it, and you're wasting your time even thinking about it. So I thought, well, fine, I'll show you.
I'm trying to act natural, but I'm in shock. After accidentally walking into the porno shop, I'm surrounded by pathetic, dirty old men. I'm looking for M&S. Instead I found S&M. I'm trying to act natural, but I don't feel right. I've got to buy something. It's only polite. So I start looking for one of the magazines. I see the pictures, I suddenly feel unclean. Fuck off!
I ended up booking a gig in Edinburgh with Attila the Stockbroker, who was my hero, and I basically booked myself a support slot, went along and did it.
So I pick up a video I met for the till. It's about over 50s and it makes me quite ill.
Wasn't the most fantastic gig in the world, as I forgot half of my poem and got beat up on my way home, but that was my introduction into punk poetry.
It puts all sorts of positions. It's got the lot, but none as dodgy as my time in the porno shop.
Most of my stuff, as you know, is mainly for comedic value.
He'll pick on something that affects him. In a sense, it seems to me like he wants to make it relevant to the modern listeners.
This one's mainly about Big Brother. This worry among the mindless few, which I hope don't include me and you, as now everyone's in a spot of bother, now we've reached the end of Big Brother. 'Cause now they can't sit in front of their TV and watch what they once perceived as reality. No more wannabe celebrities giving up their liberty just so they can attract attention. So now there's no more conversation between the mindless few and nothing left for them to do. I've basically got what I see as a unique accent. I've heard no one else talk like me, and I don't think anyone else has really, because that's why I used to get the mick took out of me as a kid at school. But I think it helps me as a performer. Because of my accent, I suddenly stand out. But now they want a piece of others' reality, and so start stalking you and me, and you feel someone staring at the back of your neck, and you turn around slowly just to check. It'll be a face you've seen before. It's the nosy bastard from number 24. With his video camera, he's hiding in the bush. But stay where you are. Please don't rush. The rhyming scheme is, by my own admission, is very basic. But I think that's how it should be. It should be simple. It should be allowed to hit people, and that's what I like. You watch it back and get a craving for more, before posting it over to Channel 4, saying, "Here, Mr. TV producer, here's what we need. More endless shit for you to feed into a submissive closed-circuit brains, in which there's nothing left to rearrange." And the producer will sit there in disbelief, wondering if a genre is really worth all his grief. And then he'll stand up and say, "Of course it is. There's one more sucker with whom to take the piss. With self-esteem so minuscule, it's the perfect choice for us to ridicule." So they sent a letter to his door, saying, "Oi, pleb, we want you on Channel 4. And now he thinks it's been a credit to his mother, embarrassing himself nationwide on Big Brother.
Well, I think that the first poem I heard was I Dated a Psychopath. Yeah, that's the one. But we gel really well as a band.
Cayn fits in because he's an individual into the punk scene, and they always say he's a good lad and stuff, and that his poems are really funny, and he always have a favourite one as well. Everyone has a different favourite poem, like Ronald McDonald or SpongeBob SquarePants Must Die and Mine Biscuits and stuff, but you know, he gets a good response from the crowd, really.
I lost one of my mates over 3 years ago now. I didn't eat or drink for a few days. I had to eat or drink something, so I'm there with a cup of tea and a biscuit. And it snaps off and it falls into the drink. While I was doing that, fishing for biscuit, no else really mattered. I joked that maybe the worst thing in the world what can happen is when your biscuit falls into your tea.
It had never happened to anyone there on me. The day my biscuit fell into my tea.
I couldn't take it out, I had no access to a spoon, so I couldn't fish it out, therefore it stayed marooned at the bottom of my cup, destroying the taste, and I hated to see a good cup go to waste. So I necked the drink, all in one, and I retched and I gaped to the taste were gone. Shortly, the vile aftertaste went away, but that experience really ruined my day.
Now I've had a lot of things happen in my life. I've had my fair share of trouble and strife, but one of the worst things that ever happened to me was when
I've been mugged and threatened and mentally abused. I've fallen in love with people, only to end up being used. I've seen friends get buried and others locked up, but that don't compare to torment of dropping a biscuit in my cup. I've drank so much that my liver couldn't cope. I've been so ill that doctors gave up hope, but that's not as bad as the time I threw up.
after having to drink the remains of a biscuit in my cup. Now you may think I'm taking it a bit too far, and I know you find this point to be a bit bizarre.
But for me, death, betrayal and needless wars, all that stuff, it just seems to pause.
Call it madness or insanity, but no one's matched if a biscuit lays my teacher.
When I was starting, it was extremely difficult for me to establish myself as a poet.
I've just offered him another gig to play, just from tonight's gig.
That's what I do. I go out there and I gig wherever anyone will have me, to be honest.
What he does is harder than what the bands do. It's harder to do, stand up on your own and take a load of abuse.
My name is getting passed around from promoter to promoter as well, and other performers, punk bands have seen me on, so my name is getting thrown about a bit.
And I'll put him on wherever I can now.
The thing what has always inspired me, apart from the people who come to every gig and shout along, it's the fact that there's always the small minority as well go, "Oh, you can't do it, you never do it."
I went to the hospital for another checkup. They had made yet another mix-up. The only meant to examine my head decided to cut off me bollocks instead. I jumped up and down and I screamed in pain. I'm not going to the hellhole again. In between my legs there's a bloody mess. I'm a victim of the NHS.
My boss once accused me of having my head in the clouds regarding my poetry and said I'm never going to make out with it, I should just stick to my work. 2 days later, I'm holding a copy of my book.
I staggered over late to the hospital reception. I wanted to complain about this unlawful castration, but the receptionist just smiled and she said in jest, "You're yet another victim of the NHS."
And so I do it. It's like people go, "Oh, you never do a big gig." So I performed at the Cayn Academy in Newcastle in front of 400 people. For me, that's a big gig. I was supporting John Cooper Clarke, who was the original and still possibly the best punk poet going.
I went to court to get compensated, but I left there even more humiliated. Because the judge, he just laughed and he threw the case out. Then he said, "Come on, look, there's no need to shout. What happened to you were an everyday occurrence. The NHS will never get their comeuppance.
Your cases for a common, you're just like the rest. You're yet another victim of the NHS.
Fair play to him.
And what about the G20 with Sam?
I thought he was really good. He had a lot of bottle.
He knew how to keep the hecklers in place. Well done.
I haven't been beat up, so it must have gone well. And one day I wouldn't actually mind, I might be a bit big-headed here, one day someone got mentioned in punk poetry, and think go, oh, like a Till at Stockbroker, Nick Tochek, Gary Johnson, Cayn White. Just to be classed as good at what I do and actually worthy to be with them names who I've looked up to and admired for so many years.
That's never been